Domain 2, Logging and Monitoring. Logging and monitoring covers 20% of exam questions. Before you start any AWS specific service, you should get familiar with some basic terminologies about ethical hacking. Try to get an idea about terms like vulnerabilities, exploit, and payload. Try to search and read articles on how applications can be exploited. And once the vulnerability is exploited, check what kind of a payload it can gain. Security flaw in a chat application installed in your desktop or laptop can help a hacker to remotely wipe your hard disk. Also, there are some third-party scanners are available outside of AWS. Please explore their functionalities. In addition, spend some time on CVE and CVSS concepts. You can get the information from the NIST website, which is nvd.nist.gov. Common vulnerabilities and exposures is a catalog of known security threats. The Common Vulnerability Scoring System, CVSS, is a free and open industry standard for assessing the severity of the computer system security gaps. Having good understanding of the mentioned area will help you to select and implement the right AWS services and solve some of the exam questions. Let's move on to the first section of logging and monitoring domain. The first section focuses on designing and implementing a logging solution. CloudTrail is the primary service we can use for logging in AWS. Review features like creating a global trail, single versus multiple region trails, option to send output to S3. In the configuration option, focus on management events, data events, and encryption. The next important service is the CloudWatch logs. Get familiar with log stream, log event, log groups, metric filter, and retention settings. Another important service is S3 and its role in logging. Mainly focus on how CloudTrail and CloudWatch logs can be delivered to S3 and how it can be stored in S3. Also focus on S3 access logging to understand how to access S3 buckets and objects that are stored in S3. Centralized logging is one important use case in the exam. It includes multi-account strategy using organizations feature and IAM cross-account role. The second section focuses on troubleshooting logging solutions. This section is closely related to the previous section, but more related to common issues related to the logging. Again, CloudTrail and CloudWatch are the service to focus on. CloudWatch logs receives logs from various sources including CloudTrail, VPC flow logs, DNS logs, and EC2 server logs. Sometimes these services having issues delivering log to CloudWatch logs. For example, if the services do not have proper IAM role, they cannot deliver the logs. You should know how to troubleshoot those issues. Same for S3 access logs too. Also, you should know how to troubleshoot issues related to CloudTrail logging across multiple accounts and CloudWatch logs across multiple accounts. Mostly these issues end up in resource policies or insufficient IAM roles and improper configuration settings. The third section focuses on design and implement security monitoring and alerting. From monitoring and alerting standpoint, CloudWatch logs play an important role. We can create custom metrics and alarms from the CloudWatch logs. So focus on metrics filter, metric namespace, alarms, exporting to S3 and other services including Lambda and Elastic Cache. Another CloudWatch feature is CloudWatch events. CloudWatch events respond to operational changes and takes corrective action as necessary by sending message to different services. So focus on event source, rules, and target under CloudWatch events. CloudWatch Bus is a new feature introduced last year. You can deliver the events to other accounts through a new CloudWatch event source called Event Bus. Spend some time on this feature. The next AWS service is AWS Config. AWS Config is a service that enables you to assess, audit, and evaluate the configuration of the AWS resources. It continuously monitors and records your AWS resource configurations and allows you to automate desired configurations. Make sure to review the config use case and how it can be used for monitoring and alerting. The next one is AWS Inspector. Inspector automatically assesses applications for exposure, vulnerabilities, and deviations from the best practices. Focus on concepts like targets, assessment templates, and assessment run. Host Assessment Rules package includes Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures, which is CVE, Center for Internet Security Operating System Configuration Benchmarks, and Security Best Practices. Please review them briefly. The last section focuses on Troubleshoot, security monitoring, and alerting. Again, this section is closely related to the previous section, but more related to common issues, monitoring and alerting. There are so many things can go wrong when we set up configure tools like CloudWatch, Config, Inspector and Lambda. You should know how to troubleshoot issues such as misconfiguration, lack of permission, service limitations, and minimum interval for metric collection. Now let's move on to Domain 3, Infrastructure Security.